Ah, the sweet illusion of impunity. People, they act as if the world is some grand stage where their cruelty is just part of the show, no consequences, no repercussions. They laugh, they sneer, they deliver their lines of abuse, thinking they're untouchable, invincible, invulnerable. They convince themselves that their words, their actions, their little games leave no scars, that the damage they inflict just vanishes into thin air. But the truth, oh, the truth is far darker than they dare to imagine. Every insult, every betrayal, every act of manipulation, it's a transaction. And they forget that every transaction has a cost. They think they're writing checks that no one will ever cash. But life keeps a ledger, my friend. It doesn't forget, it doesn't forgive. It waits patiently, silently, until the day the bill comes due. And when it does, oh, it's never the amount they expected. Karma, the invisible hand that writes the story no one sees coming. People walk around, so sure of themselves, convinced they're untouchable, that their actions will simply vanish into the air like smoke. They think life doesn't keep score. They think the cruel words they spew, the betrayals they orchestrate, the hurt they leave behind it all evaporates into nothingness. But oh, how wrong they are. Karma, my friend, is not a ghost. It's a shadow always there, always watching, waiting for its cue. And the beauty of it, karma doesn't need to announce itself, it just arrives. These people, they carry on with their games, their lies, their manipulations, as if the universe is some silent accomplice. They laugh at the hurt they cause, wear it like a badge, puffing their chests up as if it makes them powerful. But power isn't what they think it is. It's not about stepping on others, breaking them, leaving them ruins. No, real power lies in how you face what comes back to you. And for them, they're not ready. But they never are. Because they don't see it coming, they never do. They're so consumed by their own delusions of grandeur that they miss the writing on the wall. Every time they choose cruelty, every time they strike out with their venom, it's like they're making a little deposit into a cosmic bank. Oh, they don't notice it at first. Why would they? They're too busy enjoying the moment, savoring the pain they've caused, basking in the illusion that they've won. But karma? It's not a matter of if, it's only ever a matter of when, and the best part? When it finally shows up to collect, it doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door down uninvited with a grin that says, "Remember me." But here's the real kicker, karma doesn't play by their rules. It doesn't care about their excuses, their justifications, their pleas for mercy. No, it operates on its own clock, its own sense of justice. And it doesn't just strike where they expect it. It finds the cracks they thought no one could see. It slips into their life in ways they can't control, can't predict, can't escape. Maybe it's a betrayal by someone they trusted. Maybe it's the collapse of everything they thought they'd built. Maybe it's just the quiet realization that they've become everything they once despised. Whatever form it takes, it's never what they were prepared for. And isn't it poetic? They spent so much time weaving their web, so sure they were the spider and everyone else the fly. But karma flips the script. Suddenly they're the ones tangled up, unable to move, watching helplessly as their own trap closes in on them. The laughter fades, the smugness evaporates, and all that's left is the bitter taste of consequences they never thought they'd have to face. You see, life doesn't forget. It doesn't let things slide. Oh, it might let you believe that for a while. It might let you think you've escaped, that you've outsmarted it, that you're above it all. But that's just the setup. Because karma, it loves a good punchline. It lets you get comfortable, lets you believe the story's over, and then bam, it drops the hammer. And the best part, the ones who thought they were in control, the ones who laughed in the face of accountability, they're the ones who crumble the hardest. And you know why? Because they never saw it coming. They convinced themselves they were invincible, untouchable. They thought life's rules didn't apply to them. But rules are funny things. You can bend them, you can twist them, you can even break them for a while. But eventually they snap back. And when they do, it's not gentle. It's not forgiving, it's not pretty, it's justice. Pure, unrelenting, undeniable justice. It's a funny thing, isn't it? People think it's the end, bottom of the pit, the great wall that stops them cold. But pain, real, searing, bone-deep pain isn't the finale. No, it's the beginning. It's the forge. It's the fire that burns away the illusions, the lies, the soft, comfortable masks we wear to protect ourselves. When the world cuts you down, when someone rips your soul apart with their cruelty, that's when the real you begins to emerge. Oh, they think they've broken you. They smile at your suffering, proud of the destruction they've caused. But what they don't realize is that pain has a way of sharpening the edges they tried to dull. At first, it doesn't feel like strength. It feels like drowning, like every breath is a battle, like the weight of their actions is crushing you. That's what they want, isn't it? To see you collapse, to see you carry the burden of their sins. They think they've won, think they've turned you into a shell of yourself. But pain, it's not a punishment. It's not the mark of defeat. It's a teacher. It whispers truths in the dark when no one else is listening. It shows you who you really are when the world isn't watching. And if you let it, it shapes you into something they can't even comprehend. Pain builds resilience. It doesn't happen overnight. No, it's slow, deliberate, agonizing. But each scar, each tear, each moment of despair, it's a brick in the foundation of a fortress they can't tear down. Well, they don't understand that. They think pain weakens you, makes you smaller, easier to control. But it doesn't. Pain is defiance. It's the body and soul saying, I'm still here. It's survival in its rawest, most unapologetic form. And survival isn't weakness. It's strength they'll never know, because they've never had to earn it. Do you know what happens when you've been through hell? You stop fearing the fire. You stop flinching at the heat. You realize that pain is temporary, fleeting, just a passing storm. And when it's gone, when the wounds have healed, you're left with something they'll never have perspective. You've seen the bottom. You've lived through the worst they could throw at you. And you came out on the other side, maybe not unscathed, maybe not untouched, but alive. Stronger, smarter. That's what they can't take from you. That's what they can't destroy. And the beauty of it? Pain doesn't just make you resilient, it makes you dangerous. Not in the way they are, not in the shallow, cowardly way they inflict harm. No, your danger is different. It's quiet. It's calculated. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to flaunt itself, because it speaks for itself. They thought they were creating a victim, a casualty, someone who would always cower in their shadow. But what they've done without even realizing it is create someone who doesn't need their approval, their validation, their mercy. Someone who has seen the worst and knows how to walk through it without fear. Pain also teaches you about people. It strips away the illusions, the facades, as the pretty lies we tell ourselves about who they are. When someone hurts you, truly hurts you, it's like a spotlight on their soul. You see their weakness, their cowardice, their brokenness, and you start to understand that their cruelty wasn't about you. It was never about you. It was always about them, their fears, their insecurities, their inability to face their own reflection. They lash out because it's easier than looking inward. And once you see that, once you truly understand it, their power over you dissolves. You stop asking, why me, and start asking, why them? Why do they choose to inflict pain? What are they running from? What are they hiding? And what are they hiding? And when you see them for what they are, small, scared, broken, you realize they were never as powerful as you thought. Pain opens your eyes to the truth. And the truth is liberating. It frees you from their grip, their lies, their control. It makes you untouchable in a way they'll never understand. So let them laugh, let them celebrate your suffering, let them believe they've won. Because every moment of pain, every tear, every ounce of hurt, it's all shaping you into something they can't handle. You don't need revenge. You don't need to stoop to their level. Your very survival, your very existence is enough. You're the storm they can't stop, the truth they can't face, the strength they'll never have. Betrayal. It's a knife, isn't it? It doesn't strike from the front, where you can see it coming. No, it slides in from behind, quiet and unannounced, where your guard is down. Oh, it's not just the act itself that cuts deep, it's the way it unravels everything. The trust, the laughter, the moments you thought meant something, all undone by one single calculated act. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it leaves a void. It makes you question everything, everyone. And that's exactly what they want, isn't it? You. For you to drown in doubt, to lose your footing, to crumble under the weight of their deceit. But betrayal, you see, it has a funny way of revealing things. It pulls back the curtain, exposes the gears and levers of the game they've been playing all along. Oh, they thought they were clever, didn't they? Smiling to your face, spinning their webs in the shadows, thinking they could outsmart you. But betrayal, oh, betrayal is its own kind of justice. Because when someone betrays you, they don't just show you who they are, they show you who they've always been. And once you see that, once the mask slips and the truth stares you in the face, you can never unsee it. First, you might feel weak, like they've stripped you of your armor. But weakness? That's their weapon, not yours. Weakness is thinking betrayal is the end. Weakness is believing their actions define you. They think they've taken something from you, stolen your trust, your peace, your strength. But what they don't realize is that betrayal is a transaction. They didn't just take something from you, they gave you something in return. They gave you clarity. They gave you truth. They showed you exactly what you need to know to rise above them. The thing about betrayal is that it's personal. It's not like some random act of misfortune. No, it's deliberate. It's calculated. They chose to hurt you. They chose to break your trust. And that choice, it says more about them than it ever could about you. It reveals their fears, their insecurities, their desperate need to control or diminish or manipulate. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Betrayal isn't about your weakness, it's about theirs. It's about their inability to face themselves, their own failures, their own emptiness. Betrayal is a mirror, and the reflection it shows is always ugly. But don't think for a second that betrayal is the end. No, betrayal is a beginning. It's a crack in the foundation of lies they've built. And cracks spread. Betrayal doesn't just destroy trust, it destroys illusions. It forces you to see things as they really are, not as you wish they were. And once the truth is out, it has a way of spreading, of infecting everything it touches. They thought they could control the narrative, control you, but the truth doesn't stay hidden for long. You know what betrayal really does? It sharpens you. It makes you see things you might have missed before, patterns you ignored, red flags you dismissed. It's a teacher, brutal and unforgiving, but effective. Betrayal teaches you to listen to that little voice, the one that whispers when something doesn't feel right. It teaches you to value your instincts, your gut, your sense of what's real. They wanted you to doubt yourself, to question your worth. But betrayal, it does the opposite. It shows you just how strong you are to survive it, to rise above it, to use it as fuel. Betrayal also has this uncanny way of isolating people. Oh, not you, know them. Because when someone betrays, they don't just betray you, they betray themselves. They show the world what they're capable of, who they really are when the lights are off and no one's watching. And that kind of truth, it doesn't stay buried. It spreads, it grows. It wraps itself around them like a chain, like a weight they can't shake. And while they're busy pretending nothing's wrong, that weight will drag them down, bit by bit, moment by moment. You don't have to retaliate, you don't have to play their game. That's what they expect, what they're counting on. No, your strength lies in doing the opposite, in staying quiet, in watching, in letting their own actions be their downfall. Betrayal doesn't need your help to backfire. It's a ticking time bomb, and all you have to do is step back and wait. Oh, they might think they've won. They might think they've escaped unscathed. But betrayal has a long memory, and consequences, oh, consequences have a funny way of finding their mark. And in the end, betrayal isn't about what they did to you. It's about what you do next. It's about how you take that pain, that anger, that confusion, and turn it into something they can't touch, something they can't take away. Betrayal doesn't break you, it builds you, it refines you. It turns you into something sharper, stronger, more resilient than they ever imagined. They thought they were ending your story, but all they did was give you a new chapter to write. End this chapter. It's all yours. They thought they were invincible, didn't they? Untouchable. They spun their lies and planted their traps, never once considering the cost. But the funny thing about building a house of cards is that it only takes one gust of truth to send it all tumbling down. Second. And that truth, oh, it has a way of creeping in when they least expect it. Not with a bang, not with a grand announcement, no. That would be too kind. It slips in silently, a shadow they didn't see coming, and before they know it, everything they built, every smug little plan they crafted, crumbles under its weight. You see, they rely on the illusion of power. They think their masks are foolproof, their schemes airtight. They walk around like kings and queens of their tiny empires, convinced the world is blind to their games. But the truth doesn't play by their rules. It doesn't care about their plans, their lies, their carefully constructed facades. The truth is relentless, unforgiving, and oh so beautifully ironic. It waits, biding its time, letting them think they've won, letting them bask in their false victories, and then it strikes, swift, unyielding, and devastating. They don't see it coming because they're too busy admiring their own reflections. Narcissists, manipulators, abusers, they all have this one fatal flaw: they underestimate everyone else. They think they're smarter, stronger, more cunning. They think their games will never catch up to them. But arrogance is a dangerous thing. It blinds them, makes them careless. They get so caught up in their own lies that they forget one simple truth: no one escapes the consequences of their actions forever. Not even them. And oh, when the consequences come, they come with a vengeance. It's poetic, really. They spent so long weaving their webs, pulling their strings, and for what? To be caught in the very trap they set for others. Watch as the truth they tried so desperately to bury rises to the surface, piece by piece, moment by moment. They thought they were clever, untouchable. But cleverness without wisdom is just a mask for stupidity. And untouchable. That's just a fairy tale they told themselves to sleep at night. You don't need to do anything, not really. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to shout, to fight, to expose them. The truth does all the heavy lifting. It doesn't need your help. It has a way of finding its way out, no matter how deep they tried to bury it. And when it does, oh, it's a sight to behold. The panic in their eyes, the cracks in their voices, the way their carefully crafted world starts to fall apart right in front of them. They thought they had all the power, but the truth is the ultimate power, and it answers to no one. You see, they banked on your silence, your compliance. They thought you'd stay down, that you'd never rise, never fight back. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. It's patience. It's the calm before the storm. While they're busy underestimating you, you're watching, waiting, learning. You're gathering your strength, preparing for the moment when the truth will do what it always does: set you free and expose them for what they really are. And what are they really? Cowards. That's all they've ever been. They hide behind their lies, their manipulations, their false bravado, because they're terrified. Terrified of being seen for who they really are. Terrified of losing control. Terrified of the truth. They think they're strong because they can hurt others, because they can deceive and manipulate and lie. But strength isn't about how many people you can break. True strength is about how many times you can be broken and still rise again. And you've risen, you've endured, you've survived their worst, and here you are, standing tall while their house of cards collapses around them. It's funny, really. They thought they had all the power, all the control. But power built on lies isn't power at all. It's a ticking time bomb. And every lie they told, every cruel word they spoke, every manipulation they orchestrated was just another second ticking down. They thought they were winning, but all they were doing was digging their own graves, one action at a time. And now the clock has run out, and they're left standing there, watching as everything they built comes crashing down around them. That's the thing about truth. It doesn't need to shout or scream or demand attention. It's quiet, unassuming. But when it arrives, it's unstoppable. It doesn't care about their excuses, their justifications, their carefully crafted stories. It simply is. And in its presence, their lies crumble, their manipulations falter, and their power disintegrates. They thought they could escape it, outrun it, outsmart it, but no one escapes the truth. No one. They thought the game was rigged in their favor, didn't they? That every piece on the board danced to their command, every move calculated to trap you in their labyrinth. Oh, they were smug, weren't they? Whispering their lies, twisting the narrative, always staying one step ahead, or so they believed. But the beauty of this little performance, it's unscripted. And they've underestimated the wild card in the deck here, because the rules they play by, they only work if you stay in the game. The moment you step away, oh, the chaos it unleashes. They never saw that coming, did they? See, people like them, they thrive on control. It's their drug, their obsession. They craft this intricate illusion of dominance, weaving together lies, manipulations, and the occasional sprinkle of charm, all to keep you tethered, to keep you doubting yourself, while they bask in their throne of deceit. But here's the twist: control is an illusion, and illusions, they shatter when the light hits them just right. They think they're the puppet masters, but the strings they pull, they're fraying. One by one, thread by thread. And they don't even notice it until it's too late. What's their biggest fear, you ask? It's simple. Losing relevance. They fear that the show will go on without them, that their role in your story was never as they imagined. So they fight tooth and nail to stay at the center of your attention. They'll provoke, they'll taunt, they'll play victim, anything to keep you engaged. But the moment you decide their little performance isn't worth your time, that's when the cracks start to show. That's when their carefully curated mask begins to slip. So, oh, and it's a sight to behold. The panic, the desperation. They go from orchestrators to spectators in the blink of an eye. Here's the thing, they'll never admit they need you more than you need them. Without an audience, their power evaporates. They're like magicians performing to an empty room, pulling rabbits out of hats for no one to see. And nothing terrifies them more than irrelevance. They built their kingdom on your reactions, your compliance, your energy. Take that away and what do they have left? Smoke and mirrors, empty tricks. A throne of nothingness. Mistreated is be. You walking away, that's their apocalypse. Not because you're abandoning them, no. They'll never frame it that way. They'll call you selfish, ungrateful, even cruel. But deep down in that dark little corner of their mind they refuse to visit, they know the truth. They know you stepping away isn't an act of weakness. It's the ultimate power move. It's you reclaiming your narrative, breaking free from the script they wrote for you. And although they'll try to rewrite it, try to pull you back into their web. But by then it's too late. The damage is done. Their grip has slipped, and you're free. Freedom, that's the one thing they never wanted you to taste. Because once you've experienced it, there's no going back. It's intoxicating, isn't it? The realization that you hold the power, that their games only work if you choose to play. And when you choose not to, that's the end of their reign. They can't manipulate a ghost. They can't control someone who refuses to be controlled, and that terrifies them. It's the one variable they can't predict, the one move they can't counter. But don't expect them to go quietly. Oh no, they'll lash out. They'll throw tantrums, spread lies, even play the victim card. They'll do whatever it takes to pull you back into their orbit, because without you, their world crumbles. And in their desperation, they reveal their true selves. The masks come off, the lies unravel, and the truth stands bare. It's not pretty, is it? The once mighty puppeteer reduced to a shadow of their former self. It's poetic, almost. The irony of their downfall, the justice in their unraveling. You see, they always thought they were untouchable, that their games, their manipulations, their deceit would go unnoticed. But the thing about playing with fire, eventually it burns, and the inferno they set to control you, it's now consuming them. Every lie, every act of cruelty, every scheme, it all comes back, one way or another. That's the beauty of it. They can run, they can hide, but they can't escape the consequences of their actions. And watching them realize that, oh, it's a masterpiece of karma. They wanted you to believe you were powerless, that you needed them, that you couldn't survive without their approval, their validation. But the truth, you were always stronger than they gave you credit for. You were the force keeping their world together, the light in their darkness. And now that you've taken that light away, they're left in the shadows they created. Let them sit there. Let them face the void. Because you're moving forward, stepping into the light, leaving their chaos behind.